Hey everybody, this is Nitreg from nitreg.com, and I'm here today to cover the topic of bankroll management. I think this is probably the most important topic in all of poker. It's usually pretty simple, but some people have huge problems with this, or they just don't understand the overall concepts in general. So I figured I'd do this video today to kind of help you guys out, figure where you guys should be at in terms of bankroll management. So let's get started. Why is bankroll management important? Bankroll management is super important because essentially when you're dealing with money, finances, gambling, anything that requires like variance or things that are out of your control, you need to kind of like hedge against that. And the way that we do that in poker is by having a really big bankroll, and that way we could lose a couple of buy-ins from bad luck or just playing bad or whatever, and it won't really affect us that much. We can continue playing the limits that we're at, and we can continue grinding it back up. Usually, you see people at like casinos, they have like $300 of spare money for the month, and they just buy in for 300, and that's it. They might run it up to $1,000. They might go bust in two hands. That's just really poor bankroll management. So as professionals or people who are taking poker seriously, we basically have to expand the size of our bankroll relative to the size of the limit that we're playing, in order to limit variance and run bad and how that will affect us. So essentially, we got to figure out what factors would affect our bankroll management decisions. I've kind of put out charts here of anywhere from being super aggressive or for bankroll management all the way up to, if you're a professional poker player, what your bankroll management should be. But essentially it comes down to the factors of what personal life expenses do you have. So do you take your poker winnings and, buy food with it, or go out to the movies, or, just basically spend it right away? Do you take your money and have it help pay off your electricity bill, or do you have it paying for like your college tuition, like I'm doing? How important is that money to you that you win? Depending on how important it is, depends on how conservative you need to be. If you only buy like Jack in the Box with it every month, then who cares if you lose? You just skip a meal of Jack in the Box, and if you win, you can take all your friends out. But if you're paying for school, you kind of don't want to take a big risk with that. You can't afford not to pay it, so you want to be pretty conservative if you have a pretty big expense like that. Something else that's important is like the other type of income you have. So if you have a job where you're making several $1,000s a month, and you play like, I don't know, let's say 10 and L, then who cares if you lose a buy-in? It's chump change. You have your life taken care of. You have all the expenses taken care of. At least I hope. So essentially, poker is just kind of extra money. You could definitely take it seriously, but and I hope you do take it seriously. You might have goals to become like a high stakes player or whatever, but your life expenses are paid for, and that's completely separate than poker expenses. So if you can manage that and you don't want that extra stress in your life, have a conservative bankroll. But if you don't mind taking a little bit more risk, but being willing to spend an extra like $100 or $200 a month if things go really, really bad for you, then by all means, be a little bit aggressive and jump into some higher games that you think you can beat. Just be aware of how much extra money you have from other expenses and whether you're willing to risk that. The money you're willing to risk and the money you're not willing to risk should be entirely separate. Another thing that you should consider is what type of games you're playing. Not only the limit, as you can see on this chart, the limits change based upon how many buy-ins you need, but also what type of game. This is a chart for full ring, no limit hold'em. But if, let's say you're playing limit, it might be different. If you're playing 6-max or 4-max or any other sort of shorthanded game, it's going to be different. If you're playing if you're playing heads up, then it's going to be way, way, way more conservative than this, just because the variance is much higher. And on and on. It just all depends on what you're doing. But kind of as an overall reference, I just want to give you guys that 25 buy-ins is usually where you guys want to be at in terms of bankroll management. And as I look now, I kind of realized that I neglected 10NL on this chart here. Sorry about that. I didn't even realize that. But essentially, it's going to be the same as like 25NL. You're going to want at least 20 buy-ins for an aggressive roll. And, maybe you can play with 40 buy-ins if you're trying to play professionally. And, this chart's just a generic chart. If you have like 25 buy-ins, you can play professionally, whatever. If you've got like 22 buy-ins at 200 NL, go for it and play it if you want. It's all up to you how well you know yourself. Just be honest with yourself. That's most important. No one's going to hold you accountable to your own money other than you. And the reason I put like playing professional for 2NL and 5NL, no one plays professionally at those limits, but I just put it down anyways. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, like let's say you're really young and you don't have a job or anything, and you got $20 for your birthday and you really don't want to lose it. Well, play super conservative and just really make sure that you don't lose that money at all, because after 2NL you can't really move down. So other than that, I hope you guys can kind of figure it out where you should be at. If you don't, then feel free to comment down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. And also, I want to see, just ask kind of like a community question. And that question is, how many buy-ins do you guys currently play with? So, if you guys are really bad and play with the 5 buy-ins, don't, but comment down below. Or if you guys are giant nits like I am and play with like 35 to 50 buy-ins, then go ahead and post that as well. I just want to see kind of in general where you guys are at. Alright, well, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.